Hello everybody, it's been almost 30 years now since I've been eating a raw vegan diet, and I want to discuss today some of the things that I'm learning and learned. And yes, after 30 years I'm still learning what's working and what's not working, and what's best for us when eating the best diet in the world. And you can see other videos of why I say it's the best diet in the world to eat water-rich fruits and vegetables in your diet in the best amount. So the food we eat the most should be the foods that digest the easiest and give our body the most nutrients. And the foods that do that are the raw, ripe, fresh, organic fruits and vegetables. And we got to think about that in a second. I tell people food combining is very important. And how do we define food combining, especially if we don't have like a food combining chart showing us what foods are best and what foods aren't best? And for me and the topic of this video today, we're going to discuss this and realize it's about how much liquid is in the food. Those are the best foods for your body, the foods with the most liquid in them. Our bodies are mostly water, and we are to give our bodies enough hydration each day. It's going to help us to accomplish our goals of getting the nutrients we need while using the least amount of work to get them, of helping us stay hydrated. I read a book when I first began this path many years ago called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. I haven't read it in many years, but I remember them talking about dehydration being the major disease that people suffer from. They might have even said it's the only disease in different stages. And I've come to realizing now how profound that book is, or at least that idea is, because there's so many people out here that are suffering from dehydration and don't even know it. And most people don't even think about dehydration until they end up on a hospital on a Sunday after being on a beach drinking beer and passing out. Then they might go to the hospital and somebody might say, "You have dehydration." You know, constipation, digestive issues, and many other problems with the body are due to not having enough water or not having enough liquid in your body. And here's the thing, and this is the tricky part. There's no good water out there to drink. What? So we need water, but we can't get good water. So I've been thinking about that. Like, the cleanest water is distilled water and reverse osmosis water, but it has nothing in it. And some people say it's so bad that it actually strips nutrients from your body. There might be some truth to that. You know, I remember when I was younger, I used to put distilled water in an iron, but it said never drink this water. This is for irons. You know, but I ended up drinking distilled water, but it was the only water I could find that didn't have some toxin or pollutant in it. You know, we know tap water is not great because they add a whole bunch of chemicals to that. And I found out that many of the city waters, even where I live, the water is just recycled sewer water. What? So the same water we're pooping in, we're cleaning it up, or adding chemicals into it. If you want to call that cleaning up, you can, but then people are drinking that water. So I don't know how healthy that can be. And then people are taking that same water and trying to purify that water or clean that water even more. Then there are some people that have wells. They're drinking well water. But those same people got to add either chemicals to it or put it through a purifier to clean it or something. But do we think about, on those wells, how shallow or deep they are and what's actually getting into the ground? And then we think of pure spring water. I always thought pure spring water was the best water to drink because I was in California. I used to get fresh spring water on the side of the road. I went to Rome. They have water on all the street corners. They have like a spring underground and people are getting fresh water. Tasted clean to me, but come to find out now, not all spring water is clean because it depends on the surrounding grounds of what's going in the ground and all the pollutants and everything else. It might not be clean. So that was a surprise to me. I don't know what kind of water to drink anymore. I just don't know. I don't know. But then I saw Aris Latam. Aris Latam is a man I interviewed who's been eating a raw vegan diet a lot longer than I have. He's in good shape. He's much older. He's in good shape. And he says he hasn't drinking water in like 30 years or something. 30 years without water, you would seem he was dehydrated. But he says he drinks coconut water every day from fresh coconuts, not from the store, the stuff they put on the shelf that they call coconut water. No, real coconut water from fresh coconuts. So he drinks that every day. And then he also says he gets his water from the best place to get it, from the water-rich foods. Watermelon. Hello, watermelon's made of water. So you would think, okay, watermelon's made of water. Other melons have a tremendous amount of water. Cucumbers and melon has a tremendous amount of water. But what kind of water are they using to grow the watermelon and the cucumbers? Wouldn't that determine the type of water that's in there? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I do know for sure if we're eating foods that are dehydrating us, foods that are sucking up the water from our body, then it's creating a problem. And people say we need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Well, maybe so for somebody who's eating dehydrating food that's sucking up the water in our bodies on a regular basis. But what if we are eating a hydrating diet of cucumbers and watermelon? Do we really need 8 waters? Do we need any water? 8 cups of water, or do we need any water every day? So who's that standard for 8 cups of water a day? Some people say, oh, just drink when you're thirsty. Well, what I found out is by the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So don't wait till you get to a point of thirst. So there's a lot of interesting questions about this that I continue to explore what the best type of water is. Some people say, well, make your own water. Harvest your own rainwater. I mean, some of the air pollutants that get into that, I don't know how good that is. And that water is distilled as well. I mean, I would think distilled water is okay and good. Seems what the animals drink, the water coming out from the rain, making puddles on the side of the road. Many of the animals are healthier than the people, and so they start eating the food that the people eat. Then they suffer from the same disease the people suffer from, including dehydration, because if they were getting enough water from their food or somewhere else, they wouldn't have to be drinking water from a puddle. And much of the animal food that animals are given today are the most dehydrating foods around. You don't see any foods, all that dry animal food. There's a commercial of a dog out there that says no human being or no living being should have to survive on processed food every day for the rest of their life. But this is what our pets have to survive on. Well, I would submit to you that the food we're giving our children and the food people are eating themselves are just as bad, if not even worse. So I want us to focus more on water and liquid. And where could we start? I think getting the water as cleanest as possible should be the first place to start. Even if it's distilled or reverse osmosis, I still think it's better than eating water that has pollutants in it. Because even though if you're getting hydrated, if you're having pollutants in that water, then you're adding in a whole other issue to your situation. So maybe getting the clean water and adding some nutrients back to it. So I like to take a cup of reverse osmosis water and add some lemon juice to it, maybe some sea salt to it, and kind of add some nutrients back to that water. Spring water I think would be a good option if we're getting it from a good source, and maybe in glass bottles so we don't get the so-called poisons from the plastic bottle in the water. But I really think we need to focus on our diets as well and think about the food we're eating and how hydrating that food is. Is the food you're eating packed with a good amount of water, or is it dehydrating with very little amounts of water? So the best way I figure out this after doing all these years is take a juicer and put food through that juicer and see what foods are going to give you the most liquid. And I believe those might be the ideal foods for your body. So if you take a juicer and There's the obvious things. You take a melon, like a watermelon, it's going to give you a lot of juice. Take an apple, a lot of juice. Very little pulp left over to these things. Giving your body the most nutrients with the least amount of work to get those nutrients. But then there's water in some things that we don't even see water in. Take a spinach or something, or kale. I'm looking at that, I'm like, where's the water in this? But then you juice it and you get a good amount of liquid. Celery has a tremendous amount of water. Celery and cucumbers probably have more water than anything else. I mean, I couldn't tell that by holding it up. But you put it through a juicer, it gets a lot of water. Then you get to some questionable things like a banana. There's no water in a banana at all. You can't really juice a banana. So, as much as a banana is a great source of food, it's not the most hydrating food. So, when I eat bananas, I often like to mix them with water and have them in a smoothie form or something. So at least I'm hydrating myself and helping that process. But then we looked at cooked foods and dehydrated foods. Once you eat cooked foods and dehydrated foods and processed foods, there's absolutely no water in it at all. Take a piece of bread and stick it in a bowl of water and watch how much water it sucks up. It's almost like throwing a sponge in a bowl of water. And that's how your body is. When you eat cooked food, processed food, it's like swallowing a sponge. And I guarantee you, if you swallow the sponge, it'll come out soaking wet because it sucked up all that water from your body. So I would even suggest the more cooked food we eat, not 8 glasses a day, much more water will be needed each day. So dehydration, your body's many cries for water. It's what we think about, or I'm thinking about and talking about, and also the type of water we're drinking, how clean or toxic it is. Keep this on your mind as you're thinking about what you're doing. And just think about the source of your water. And if you want to be successful and healthy and overcome illness and avoid illness, these might seem like little matters, but I think in the long run they do make a difference. So let me know what your opinion is. Put your comments or questions below. Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.